What's going on, guys? So normally I talk about drama, goofy things, video games, and very rarely do I talk about things that are great, good things. And today I'm going to talk about something great. There was a guy named Bob Dylan. If you don't know who that is, he's a meteorologist that does the weather for Fox. He was in one of the areas that the Hurricane Helen is destroying. Now, in the middle of him reporting, there was a lady that was about to drown inside of her vehicle. And it was, rising floodwaters. And if you've ever been in rushing water, it is super hard to not only keep a good frame of mind to where you can survive, but trying to stay above water and keep oxygen in your lungs. Because if you don't know, no oxygen, you're gone. What happens is he does call the first responders. But as I'll explain later, there's a reason why he had to go do it anyway at that moment in time. But yeah, go ahead and check this out.
She's screaming right now. I just called 911. Fire department is coming in. We got you. 911, they're coming. You're good. You're good. Oh man, it's a situation. We will get back to you in a little bit. I'm gonna go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more, you guys. I'll be back.
Moments ago, Fox Weather's Bob Van Dillen saved a woman trapped in a car.
He went and
Look
got
at
her.
that.
He's saving her.
He called 911 for her. Bob is going to join us coming up. That guy is a hero.
Wow.
So I just said, you know what? I realize I'm with you guys. I'm on the air, but I can't let it go. So I just I dropped everything and I took my wallet out of my pants and I went in there, waded in about chest deep. And the water's actually rising and getting up into the car itself. So I told her, okay, undo your seatbelt. And she undid her seatbelt, and I said, let me have your phone, let me have your bags, and then put on my back, and then we walked in. So she's short, she's probably about this tall. So I put her on my back and just brought her in. She's fine, she was in shock. She was cold, shivering, so I gave her one of my shirts, and she was in our car just warming up. About 10 minutes later, the fire department came, saw that we were okay, and they went on to the next rescue, wherever they're going.
So that's Bob Dylan. Now, he was just reporting the news of, the hurricane, if you didn't know, has pretty much destroyed the entire East Coast. And it caused a lot of damage, and definitely a lot of people have probably passed. I haven't got to look at all the numbers, but, it's pretty destructive. Basically, he stated that, he did the, first thing he was supposed to do, call first responders, let them deal with it. They are the ones that are, trained for this, so they need to deal with the situation. Well, he also looked at it as this. They have a lot on their plate. A lot of people need their help. The odds of them getting out there right then and there was very unlikely. So he decided to jump on it. He went through the raging waters, got her out of the vehicle, got her over on his back and everything, and helped her out. You got to think the guy's taller than her, so he was able to keep above water, help her keep above water. And as a person at one point in time that was short as hell, I myself as a teenager almost drowned, and you'd be surprised just what one person helping you can feel like. I still remember it to this day. It was one of the only times in my life where I was so panicked and actually knew, like I accepted this is how I was going to die. I was drowning. I literally was breathing in water. If I would have stayed underwater even for one more second, it was over with. There was no way I was going to be able to survive that. And a gentleman that I did not know, okay, this was one of those water parks where the waves come through, and somehow I got pulled in a little bit further than I was going to. I thought it'd be fun. That was not. It was terrible, and it was horrifying, and I couldn't keep my head above water. Well, I only did that for so long and started getting exhausted. I was already tired. And so the guy gets me up, puts me on his float, and brings me back to, the manufactured shoreline, basically. And I was coughing up a bit of water. It hurt. My lungs were hurting. I've never been in that situation before. And even today, it still sticks to my mind. Like, that sucks. And I don't go in deep water hardly at all. Mainly because if you get exhausted, that's where it's going to be over with. You're going to drown. And I'm not one of those people that want to do that. That is actually now a fear of mine. But this gentleman just made sure that wouldn't happen. That is one of the greatest things you can do right now. Another quick thing. Usually, why you don't see a lot of people when they're in the middle of, work, they're not the boss, or they don't allow stuff like that. Let me put it this way. I don't know what Fox News would do, but I've worked for a company to where if you help somebody and you got hurt, they would have pretty much just fired you because you did something you weren't supposed to do, even if it was on your own time, essentially. Obviously, his was not on his own time, but let me put it in perspective. I was on lunch. There was somebody that was needing a tire change. These kids, I was inside working. I think I was working on a computer. Turn around. They've been outside in our parking lot for at least an hour and a half. I don't know why they didn't call anybody, but they were having trouble getting the tire off. These kids were so inexperienced, they actually pulled out the handbook that goes with the truck and was reading how to change a tire. Now, resourceful, I know, but they were completely ignorant of the situation, didn't know how to change tires. So they were going step by step. I come out there on my break. I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, man, we don't know how to get this tire off. We don't know what to do. We're stuck. And the jack's stuck. And I was like, okay. So I had a bigger vehicle. My vehicle had a giant jack stand as well. So to help them out, I changed the tire for them. I told them they need to go double check with a tire shop to make sure it's, you know, up to spec as far as torque and stuff. Because all I did was tighten it by hand and did everything that I could. And I said, look, just make sure you go get somebody to double check this. So basically, the biggest problem they had, the jack was stuck. Now, being the jack stuck, you can't get, the truck back on the ground. So I got my jack, turned it up, got it up just at one spot of the truck that it wasn't on, lifted it just enough, and I kicked the other one out from under it, and it didn't have but like that small amount of room, and it just dropped onto mine, held it, I lowered it. My boss was watching, and he told me a little bit later, he's like, look, what you did was stupid. I know you were just trying to help somebody, but if you would have got hurt, you probably would have been fired. He's like, I can't, we can't allow that. And yeah, it was really stupid. I was like, well, they were just stuck. They didn't know what to do. They were panicking. They've been up in town for a couple hours, and they're just kids. They don't know any better. He said, I don't care. You got to realize when you get hurt on your own, you're not covered. Even if you were covered, you can't go outside saving people. You have to be in here working and doing your job. And I don't know how meteorologists or how Fox News does it or the reporters have to do it. A lot of times you see them a lot more helping people more than you would like a retail worker. But yeah, guys, I thought I would just share something with you that was a little bit positive in this entire Hurricane Helen situation, because a lot of people are going without power. I'm sure there's somewhere online to donate to help with this travesty. I know I saw a lot of people from Mississippi and Alabama, a lot of our power companies, their trucks, a lot of ambulances, a whole lot of first responders have all been evacuating from here straight to Florida and the East Coast to help try to rebuild them as quick as possible to get them power and at least get some sources out there as quick as they can, because they're going to be without for quite a few months. I don't know if you've ever been hit by just a tornado. It could take weeks, if not months, for you to receive all the help you need. But yeah, that's about all I got to say. Y'all have a good one.